It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey.
Jim. And the one and only original Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Murray. Hello, Murray.
Yo.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Hey, thanks, Bryce. We got a jam-packed week this week. So much rage. I can't wait.
Time.
So little time. Not enough time for this rage and we're going to do. Agenda this week. So we got movies we saw last week, which was only a few. We got movies coming out this week, which is only a couple. We're going to do streaming. Jim and Bryce do some open rage. Murman Minute. Submissions to the Undoubted, Mesmerized, and the Doubted list. We got a Rage or Dare. Xanadu. Did Xanadu make me rage? Or
Sure hope so.
Or was I dancing on roller skates, singing all the songs in my living room? And finally, RMM. So, let's talk about the jam of last week. Jim's pick of the week, shall we say? Corpus Christi.
I kind of remember me sort of saying, no, let's go see that. I've actually wanted to see it for quite a while. I
think you might have said that inside your head. Hey, I'm telling you, it's my pick of the week. I saw it.
Fine.
It was my favorite movie of last week.
Well.
So, Polish film. Director is Jan Komasa. And I'm going to pronounce these. Hopefully some of my Polish friends are listening. Mateusz Pazowicz and stars
Bartosz Belenia.
Yeah, thanks. You're doing good. Alexandra.
Who was the lead, and he was excellent.
He was, he got nominated for a few awards for this.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah, he was freaking brilliant. When we were watching it, he kind of seemed like he was a cross between Willem Dafoe and Steve Buscemi. I was thinking his eyes were so big, and you're like, he looks like a guy.
I saw a little Christopher Walken in him.
Yeah,
actually.
a little Christopher Walken too. Yeah, it was like a hybrid of those three because his eyes.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't say he's a strikingly good-looking guy.
No, but he's got a presence.
Yeah, he's got a presence that carried it through the film. This movie, it took me on a journey I wasn't expecting. I can tell you that. Like because I think I told you, and maybe it was even last week, I have no interest really to see this. Anything about like Catholic movies is like on my bottom of lists. It's kind of like, and yet the two Catholic movies I've seen this year
have been
mind-blowingly good.
Yes.
Two Popes and Corpus Christi. So we saw this. We chose to see this one because there wasn't two movies last week that we really wanted to see in the theaters. So we went and saw our buddies from the Globe Cinema here in Calgary, and we checked it out. I thought it was fantastic. I gave it a super Mondo.
Yeah, I liked it as well. Really well acted, especially the lead, Daniel, played by Bartosz Belenia. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Hope
Probably.
I am.
Sure, why not?
To watch him go from a man trying to kind of fly under the radar to someone who genuinely cares, to someone who has been thrust into a leadership role and genuinely feels the need to help the community around him. It was just a tremendous kind of arc.
Yeah,
all the way.
his arc was quite, and it was interesting because the beginning, it was kind of a little choppy, but not a choppy in a bad way, almost a choppy in a good way, because you kind of didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
But his character, it was like, okay, is he just like this giant schemer, or is he is he actually heartfelt and he's a real person? And it wasn't really until maybe midway through where you started to see the cracks of him being a dick from juvie, as they called it.
Yeah.
That you see he's a real person with a real heart, and he really does care about these people.
Yeah, and talk about character development. That's your bag, and boy, did they develop this guy.
Yeah, this guy. Actually, what I liked about it was not just that they developed this guy, they developed the town.
Yeah.
Right? Like the story, the complex story that was woven. And it's good because we're going to talk about this next, because we did, in contrast, this town had a secret.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know what it was. It was kind of planted seeds here and there throughout it. But as it peels away the layers of this film and you get to the real plot of it,
That was the beauty of this film, is that it just really, revealed a little bit,
Yes.
and they peeled back a little more,
And
you kind of started to understand as Daniel, the lead character, was starting to understand what was going on. It was you're taking the journey with him, and I really love this.
Yeah,
movie.
the purity of his character as it developed through the contrast of the other, I want to say, the evil traditional thoughts that most Catholics carry around in movies. Like he wasn't. I don't even know if he was Catholic. Maybe everybody in Poland is Catholic.
By the way,
I don't know.
Jim just called all Catholics evil.
No, I said portrayed evil in movies.
All right, fair enough.
that basically, his character through that arc, and contrast to, say, the bishop or the priest or whatever he was. There's a name for it. I don't know, some Catholic term that's kind of like priest. Anyway, he's replacing vicar. Is it vicar? Yeah. Vicar. They used the word vicar.
Yeah.
So he was replacing the vicar, and that guy was like, he so needs to retire, like go off into which he goes away because he can't deal with what's happening in the town.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. So interestingly enough, we'll talk about this a little bit because we're going to talk about Blow the Man Down.
Yep.
In contrast, I think this film did a way better job of peeling back that layers to show the plot, where Blow the Man Down, I didn't find it as well, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
you gave it a Mondo, and I am also giving it a Mondo. I really, really like this movie.
Perfect. 2 Mondos with a bullet.
Nice.
All right. Well.
All right, and on
what else did we see last week?
Well, the big release from last week, The Invisible Man. This has been quite surprisingly well reviewed out there in the world, and I am trying to figure out why. I was thoroughly disappointed by this movie. As if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I was really looking forward to this one.
It was in like your top 5 to see this year.
Yeah, it was in my top 5 to see this year, and it was not great or good or almost watchable. Apparently, once you wear the Invisible Man suit, you also get like super strength, and the laws of physics no longer apply. If I'm to be completely honest, I cannot even remember most of what I saw.
You were like in a haze.
I don't know. And in fact, I was having trouble remembering the movie right after I saw it. Maybe I'm just getting old, or maybe my mind just chose to suppress the mediocrity that I just witnessed.
You did kind of snooze off a bit.
Yeah. Elizabeth, I can't get her name out. Elizabeth Moss did everything she could with the role she was given here, but just the silliness of some of the situations got to be too much. They had Moss cast, so they should have explored her slipping into madness a little more, because that's kind of her bag.
Yeah.
But if they would have done that based on the Invisible Man kind of messing with her, I think that would have gone a long way. They just kind of touched upon it, though. But if they would have explored that more, I really think this movie would have been so much better. But instead, they focused on silly situations and convoluted plot twists. It should have been better. Based on Moss's performance.
No, you don't even say it yet. We're going to wait till the end.
I think
you're not.
Give
no.
it
No, you got to wait till the end. You promised me I would get my points first.
Okay, convince me that it's not a meh, Jim.
If you give this a meh, your brain is totally damaged, just like you couldn't remember this movie.
I am
so
open.
First off, I want to say the first 5 minutes of this movie could quite possibly be the best sound music mix of any movie I've seen in years. When that started with the first visual coming into his cool house,
Yep.
I thought, wow, this movie is going to be great. And the music and how it was layered in with the sound mix was so fantastic. And then after about 5 minutes, I went from that to this. Yeah, the fact that anybody actually thought anything good about this movie comes as a complete shock to me. The writers and directors and producers of this film made this movie to assume that everybody that watched it was a complete moron. And it was like there was no surprises. The trailers gave away everything.
They sure did.
Right from the I would say about halfway through the movie, I was so on edge because I was raging so hard about how everything in this movie was so predictable, so against the entire laws of physics. I just without even focusing on it. There was just one thing after another, and an actor's performance could not... I mean, she did a great job. I really enjoyed her, and her alone. Every other character in this movie, I was waiting for them all to die. I wish that they would have killed her. You can't take a movie that is this bad, and no matter how good one performance in it, give it anything but a rage. Yeah. But the movie was not. You actually fell asleep 3 times. I even counted because I turned towards.
I think I might have fallen asleep
and I have
twice.
a witness. So Kim is probably listening to this, and Kim can attest. You might have even snored or snuffed a little bit in your. You were so raging subconsciously that you actually passed out. So it started right after she does this great. There's a great scene where she's trying to. Escape because you get the opinion this guy's a total dick and that he's an abuser and all these wonderful things, which you find out more about later. No surprise because it's all in the trailer. And that
was all great up until they sped away. And
no, it wasn't even then.
No?
I was raging before that because
right.
she's this. She did so many great things. She went down to technology and she puts all the cameras off, and then her dog comes down.
Yeah.
Her dog comes down and she happens to just accidentally try and pull the collar off, and she falls into his car, which she perfectly knows is going to set off a fucking alarm. And so, guess what? He wakes up. And so the dog's collar's off, and then she starts running. But before that, she went into the bathroom when she was doing her escape, and she put her diazepam in her bag and sealed it.
Yeah.
So there was no possible way that thing was ever coming out. She zipped it up. And I'm pretty sure it was a Lululemon bag, but I might go back and look at that. That's not going to just magically open. So then she's trying to hide from this guy so she doesn't see him. So she runs through the forest with a flashlight after she's woken him up. And this is only the 6th or 7th minute into the movie.
Right.
And then she gets to the highway. Her friend isn't even there. You think she might have texted that, say, "Are you at the meeting point?"
That was a little ridiculous.
Before she even fucking left the house.
This grand escape, and she's just going to sit there and wait.
Waits on the highway, which magically
she's catching a bus.
Like she's catching a bus, waiting, it's got her finger out, waiting for someone to pick her up. And then guess what? The diazepam absolutely falls out of her bag. And for no apparent, which was zipped up and apparently no reason. And then this is her sister that picks her up, who knows this guy's an abuser. They've been talking about this guy for years.
Yep.
And there's no urgency to her. She was just like, "What's the matter? What's happening? Oh, you're finally leaving?" And then, of course, he comes running down the stairs, smashes the glass, breaks it, and then magically he found the diazepam on the ground. I'm like, okay, so are you assuming that none of us could figure out if there was any other more intelligent way for him to know that he was drugged and for this pill bottle to come back into the movie? It made them think like, yeah, these people are really stupid. They can't. And this is just 7 or 8 minutes into the movie. And then it just went down from there. First of all, your point about he didn't have any... There was no sense of physics in this whatsoever.
No, there wasn't.
She's walking around this creaky wooden house, and you can hear the creaks everywhere. When he walks, there's no creaks.
Yeah.
And then she goes outside, and you can see her breath because it's cold outside.
But
and then
you saw his breath once.
You only saw it once. It's like all of a sudden he appeared. We already knew he was outside. It was just one thing after another. It was just so annoying. I couldn't stop getting angry. And then the one that was really the good one. So anybody who's cooked with gas stoves, like. I think they were cooking bacon and eggs or something that,
some
whatever.
sort of breakfast.
Anyway, when you turn up the gas on a gas stove, it doesn't instantly ignite the pan. It doesn't matter.
It does according to this movie, Jim.
According to this movie, that by turning up the gas, and okay, he's a fairly big guy. And this is a narrow space.
And a fairly bad actor.
And a fairly bad actor. So he couldn't have acted his way out of that kitchen, even with that suit on.
Nope.
So it was like it just kept getting worse and worse. But the icing on the cake was you've got when she's finally in the mental hospital and she's telling everybody he's there.
Yep.
And this made you upset because we talked about this after. And we didn't even say 2 words. We're just like, "Where's the blood?" So
There's no blood.
She cuts her wrist along the vein. So there's a shitload of blood. That's how people commit suicide.
A half a foot of
cut. Yeah, on the vein. And most people would die.
Yeah.
Like, that's how people die.
Yeah.
And yet she's running all around the hospital with no blood coming anywhere.
There was no blood trail anywhere.
She
It's
stabbed
crazy.
him like 5 or 6 times with this pen. You saw that she purged it. Not any blood from him either.
Yeah.
Yet
We saw some little red dots where she stabbed him, but nothing spewing. There's nothing. Yeah, it was crazy.
Or how about, like, there's 20 people in the hallway that are all security guards carrying guns.
Yeah.
And not one could figure out where he was.
Yeah.
Or how about how many times she was like, oh, I can't see this guy. I better, throw something on him. So, yeah, how about that? He's invisible. Just throw flour everywhere. You'll find exactly where he is.
Why don't you have it like on you at all times?
At all times, carry on a bag of flour.
That is a good point, Jim.
Yeah, like she should have been like one of those weightlifting competitors from the Olympics.
Just have a bag of chalk.
Just have a bag of chalk everywhere, throwing it. There, look, there he is. There he is. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to convince you he's here, and then did nothing to prove it, other than walk around complaining about it and going into this massive hysteria of mental illness.
You're making some good points.
Yeah, I can't even remember half of it because I was trying to block it out. Like, if I had to give this a rating out of 10, which we don't do on this would have been a 1.
Okay.
And only because of her acting in it. Like, without her acting, it's a 0. And I've never given a 0.
You're starting to make me rage here, Jim.
I think my blood pressure's up. I don't know if I can. I got to find a way to stop raging about this movie.
You've convinced me.
It's the heaviest. It's the heaviest rage since Sonic. Wait, wasn't that last week?
And Sonic still beat it at the box office.
No.
Did it really?
There is nothing redeeming about this movie.
Still number 1, 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, good for Sonic.
I think the summation, one of my friends at work actually said to me, because we talked about this today, earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm asking her, she says, yeah, I kind of really liked it. I went, what? And then she's like, yeah, I kind of like jump scare movies. I'm like, okay, maybe give her that. And I'm like, so what about this part? Didn't that bother you? And what about this part? Didn't that bother you? And she's like, oh, I think I actually maybe fell asleep a couple times. I'm like, yeah, because it wasn't as good as you remember it. It's like, it seems like everybody is like, yeah, I seem to have fallen asleep. Was there something built into the movie to make people to fall asleep, to hopefully make them forget that it was terrible?
Well, yeah, you're trying to follow an invisible man. You can't see him.
Oh, yeah,
There
that's
you
what
go.
it is. All right, well, that's enough rage for that.
Yeah.
This is just building up to my next rage,
Let's
by the
move
way.
on, because we got a whole lot more rage to come.
right.
And we don't want our blood pressure spiking just quite this
True
early.
enough. Blow the Man Down. We saw this at the Globe. We saw it was off the cuff film. You know what, Mur? I'm going to let you take this one because
okay.
you love this movie. He came out of it with this shit-eating merman grin.
I don't know about that,
and
but
he was just like, "This is the most joy I've had in a long
I wouldn't
time."
go that far, but yeah, this is my kind of movie. Like, I'm not much for the slasher movies, lots of blood and gore, making you jump out of your seat. But I like the slow building thriller with like lots of twists and turns. And this was similar to, I guess, the one you guys saw. It was a small fishing town full of secrets. Like, everywhere you turn, something else popped up, and I'm like, they're all hiding something. Like, they're all a bunch of lovely old people in a fishing town, and there's an old fisher guy on the dock singing "Blow the Man Down" at the start of the movie.
That was fun.
But it's like, yeah, it just got dark in a hurry, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're hiding a secret too. But
There
yeah,
was secrets
I really
to be
enjoyed
had.
it. I did
So
notice
it was a Mondo for you, wasn't it?
it was, yeah, definitely a Mondo for me. I did notice someone beside me was drifting off a couple times.
Was that me?
Well, it wasn't Bryce.
Oh, yeah, Bryce wasn't there.
I was at work.
So there was a lot about this I liked. What for me was just a meh, and the reason for it, and again in comparison to say Corpus Christi, where I thought the layering of the characters and the story unwound in a little bit more of a not necessarily surprising. To me, I kind of knew this plot. Like as I was watching it, I was like, nothing's really surprising me. The characters I liked. So I liked the old ladies. The three of them were fantastic.
They were awesome.
I couldn't like the whole thing with the build and the contrast between it. I didn't feel the energy. Like the energy wasn't built enough for me, and I understand maybe why you liked it.
Yeah, no, for me it was.
So what I wished more about it, because the first opening scene when they're doing the first song,
Yeah.
And it made me laugh. There was points in there that made me laugh. And so I was hoping for this movie, and maybe that's why it kind of jilted my mind a bit, that I was hoping that it would be more comedic.
There were a lot of funny moments.
Not really. I don't think. I think.
Well, the audience seemed to think so anyway.
I didn't hear any of them laugh the whole movie.
A few times I did.
You snicker maybe,
Oh.
but that part, like the very beginning, set this precedent. Said, "Wow, this is going to have some cute, funny parts," and then it was a pretty serious plot.
The movie started off with the funeral. Like their mother died, so that's kind of
it
a
was
way
the
to
singing.
start.
The guy singing at the beginning.
Yeah, but right after that, they went right from that to a funeral.
Even the singing part was hilarious. Like
that's
you
true,
couldn't stop laughing because
yeah.
the way they did it. They show all these fishing guys, and it was almost like a Monty Python sketch.
No.
And the one guy smoking a pipe or whatever.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Hot Fuzz. But
not
as funny. Not as funny, but it's like, he goes to a small town.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just lovely and they're all sweet to each other and everything. Oh, no, they're not. They're dark.
Yeah. I guess maybe I was hoping for it to be more dark because I didn't find the surprises. Like, you kind of knew, okay, there's a whorehouse in town and she runs it. And you knew the other ones were part of it.
It's a small fishing town. Like, 500 people. It could be Newfoundland somewhere.
Yeah.
It was set in Maine.
Yeah.
There's a town whorehouse that's like basically run by the elders of the town. Like that was just awesome.
That part was good.
It was.
I'd give it to you.
And surprising appearance by one of my favorites, Annette O'Toole.
Yeah, Annette O'Toole. There was a couple
of. I didn't recognize too many other ones, but
there wasn't a lot.
Not a big names, but
no,
she was maybe the biggest one in there, but.
Who was actually in it?
I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I liked it a lot, and
David Coffin, David Pridemore, Adam. Why is it only the men in there? There were hardly any men in this movie.
I recognize the one main prostitute girl. Can't remember from what though.
Yeah, she was good actually.
Yeah,
I like.
Overall,
some of the characters were good.
Overall, it was good. It was a low budget independent movie, which is good. As much as I love Cuff, I mean, I volunteer all year round for them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their films are a little out there for me.
That's what I was expecting.
This one was like right on the money for what
Murray was having a joygasm over it.
There you go. Well, I'm still gonna see it.
He blew the man down, if you know what I'm saying. Wank, wank.
Correct.
It is produced by Amazon Studios, I believe, so it'll probably be coming out on Amazon in the near future. So,
all right then,
I'll check it out when it hits my streaming service.
Yes, you will. Right. So, what's coming out this week? This is on your love list.
Well, it is on one of my top 5 to see this year. So far, I'm 0 for 1, I believe. Was there anything else?
You're 0 for 2, actually.
What was the other one? Am I 0 for 2 already?
It wasn't Sonic. That was one.
No, I definitely wasn't looking forward to
Fantasy Island.
Oh yeah,
Fantasy Island was the other one. That was also
which I warned you about.
I don't know that was that.
It was a man. It wasn't a Mondo.
Yeah,
you were hoping it was going to be a Mondo, and it was just a man.
Well, it sure wasn't Sonic.
At any rate, this weekend, The Way Back is coming out, which is the latest Gavin O'Connor outing. He's the guy that brought us The Accountant.
Yes.
So we not only get him, but we get Ben Affleck
we get the accountant himself
with him. Yeah. So that combination, I think, is going to be gold for maybe many years to come. I got no reason to doubt him so far, so I'm not going to. I'm looking forward to this one. It was on my list of movies I was looking forward to this year, and so was The Invisible Man, and so was Fantasy Island. But
let's pretend those didn't happen.
Exactly. And you know what? What are the odds of 3 in a row?
And I'm going to predict right here, right now, that this is going to potentially make my rage list.
I know that that doesn't shock me in the least.
No, I love The Accountant. You know that.
I know that. And you know what? If you watch the trailer for this movie,
I was raging through the trailer.
It looks terrible.
It does look terrible.
It looks absolutely terrible. But I have faith. I have faith in both these gentlemen, and I think it's going to be good.
The reason I think it's not going to be good, and it's another one of those. First off, I hate sports movies in general.
I love sports movies.
No,
in general,
most of them are terrible.
Most of them are
annoying.
great.
And usually, someone will go.
They're always
this
so
plot,
inspirational.
This plot is not about whatever. Pick the sport: A, B, C, D, F, G. It's not about golf. It's not about bowling. It's not about darts. Whatever sport they're fucking playing. And now it's about, baseball. And wait, the plot is basically a guy who was good. Wait a minute. Wait for it. He gets drunk. And then he goes back and coaches.
It's hardball again.
It's basically every sports movie
Tom
that's
Hanks.
ever been made. And so I am
It's a
not going to be
Keanu
surprised.
classic.
It's not. I already hate it. I haven't seen it. There has to be like a miracle, perhaps from the Catholic gods.
Miracle. This guy
to
actually
make me-
directed Miracle.
Oh, please tell
Same
me he
guy
didn't
did
make
here.
Miracle.
He did.
That movie was also
With
terrible.
Kurt
Yes, it
Russell.
was.
So
Yeah,
this
he
is what
actually
you have.
directed it.
This is basically the basketball version of
Miracle?
Miracle.
Well, no,
And you're thinking it's going to pull it. He's going to pull it out of his ass.
Hardball with Keanu Reeves. I think it's the basketball version
This one
of that.
actually didn't happen.
Yeah, this is really. I'm going to this under protest because I want to see if this can bring out any emotion in me whatsoever other than rage.
I am going to this with a smile on my face and a song in my heart because it's going to be excellent.
I'm getting the opinion. So, he makes fun of me for having my 11 rules. And then he has things like this, like, I'm so excited about sports movies that I know the plot is not going to be original. It's like, come on!
I know, but it's Gavin O'Connor.
It doesn't matter. It's a
It's
sports movie
Ben
that the plot is already rewritten 100 times. There's not going to be one original line in this that's going to make you go, wow, the writers in this did a real effort. They thought outside the box with this plot.
But Gavin O'Connor was one of the guys that wrote
Who
the
directed
screenplay.
Miracle. Exactly. We already know that.
He also wrote The Accountant. That was an original movie. I think he's got it in him again. I think he's gonna surprise the both of us.
So you keep bragging about The Accountant, but what else has he done that is actually really good?
Let's not go into his other stuff.
Exactly.
There's no reason to do that.
Now, I will be excited.
Turned a corner, my friend.
I will be excited to see Accountant 2. But I can tell you
still
right
just
now,
rumors,
if
I believe.
this even gets to a high rage,
Oh.
bordering to a meh, I would say that's a success for me.
I am so looking forward to
This
you
is
mondoing this next week.
Just like when I say I have movies that start with 11, I have movies that start with 0. And so far,
This thing
This
is
is
gonna
a 0.
This is gonna go 0 to hero, my friend.
no. What you've heard it here first, folks. Not gonna happen.
We will see. We will see.
I have eaten words before. I said I didn't want to see a movie about Catholic popes walking around, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So
Get ready to eat your words once again, my friend.
I've yet to see any sports movie make me happy other than The Replacements, because that was because Keanu Reeves was in it.
There you go.
And Keanu Reeves isn't in this movie, so it
And
has
Gene
no hope.
Hackman.
No, but it's basically a movie that he's already been in. Done
Exactly.
again.
I'll just go back and watch the
Just
Keanu Reeves movie.
Just go watch Hardball again.
Okay, well, this is going to be an interesting week next week. After seeing
The
these
way
two
back
movies.
is gonna be so good.
So terrible. So terrible.
What else is coming out this weekend?
You know what it is?
I do.
Let's hear some streaming.
Oh, I thought we were
We're not there, buddy.
Not
We're
there
going
yet,
to
buddy.
Oh, Seberg.
Yes.
See,
Ah.
talking too long.
I got too excited and
Get too
raging
excited,
about it.
you're raging.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one we don't have to talk much about. We're going to see it. It's playing at the Globe this
Yeah,
week.
back
So
to the
anybody
Globe.
who listens to us in Calgary, come see us at the Globe. We're going to be seeing this little
Yes.
beauty at 7
And
o'clock.
Yes.
Support our friends at the Globe.
Support our friends at the
They have some
Globe.
good stuff.
It's got our friend Kirsten Stewart in it, which Bryce has a little bit of a crush on.
I don't have a crush on her, but I think she's coming around.
She's got a bit of she's the female creep crush, I think. She's got a real creepy vibe about her.
She's got a
and
yeah.
she might
I'll buy into
she might
that.
join my creep crush crew. headed by the god Elijah Wood.
Yes.
He's basically the god of creep crushes.
And the Radcliffe.
And the Radcliffe. He's also creep crushy. Steve Buscemi, creep crushy.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of like this. Again, I don't like period pieces, but I don't mind period pieces that are done well. So if it's done good, and I don't like all that pomp and circumstance shit like the turn of the 1800s type period pieces, because I don't like the way their dialogue is, and I don't like their dresses. So I kind of like this one. There's a lot of,
Yeah, seems like an interesting.
looks like
story.
there's a lot of bathing suit scenes, and who doesn't like that?
There you go.
Yeah, but there's 60s
I-
suits.
which are like super hot. What are you
Yeah, they're
talking
kind
about?
of super hot. That
I'll
vintage
take
hot.
that. I'll take that over a bikini any day.
I don't know. She was wearing a bikini in one.
Was she?
So,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, I kind of like political period pieces. Like it's got that mixed Black Lives Matter type layering in it that they're kind of showing that she was really politically minded.
Yeah, it's in the 60s, which was
which
turbulent decade.
Which is also still a big time where they needed someone like her pushing in Hollywood for equality for the black community, right? So
it might be okay.
Yeah, I'm more looking forward to that than
Really?
I am that other turd that you're trying to get excited about.
It'll probably be a meh. But, we're going to see it, so. Trailer looks good.
Yeah. If we're going trailer to trailer, that takes the way back down.
Seberg takes down the way back for sure if we're
trailers.
going trailer versus trailer. Cast is really good. You not only got Kristen Stewart, but you got Anthony Mackie, you got Stephen Root, who I can't get enough of Stephen Root.
Yeah.
It looks good. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better than meh. We'll see.
Time will tell.
Yes.
All right.
So we're not going to talk much on their streaming this week.
Yeah.
But, Mark, bring us in, baby.
All right, time to calm Jim down a bit.
Get to your happy place, Jim.
Streaming.
At least temporarily.
Motherfucking streaming. We're doing streaming. Bryce, give it to me low.
Streaming.
So, funny, I did watch a couple of flicks. One in particular that we're not going to talk to because there's too many other things I got to rage about today, and you haven't seen this one, so we're gonna
save it.
We're gonna sprinkle it because maybe some of our listeners will also watch it, and then when we rate it next week, they'll know.
Cool.
Maybe. So System Crasher, it's on Netflix.
Right on.
It's a German film. On her wild quest for love, 9-year-old Benny's untamed energy drives everyone around her to despair.
Wow.
She's 9.
She's 9. Looking for love in all the right places. No, it's not that kind of love, Mer.
Oh.
That would make it really awkward.
Yes,
So we're gonna talk about this next week, and I don't want to say anything about what I feel about it, but I do suggest people watch it. This German film will open your mind a little bit about a few things. So
cool.
We will talk about next week. But what we did see. And it was kind of funny because I was just, scooching around Amazon, Shudder, the regular streaming sites. And I saw this one, which I didn't even know Amazon does, but I think they do it on a few things.
Like a shorts package?
Yeah, it's like they made a shorts package specific to Amazon because if you go look at IMDb or anywhere online, it doesn't exist. So Amazon basically just took some shorts and said, package.
Cool.
And this one, zombies, vampires, and pumpkins, horror shorts for adults.
Sounds excellent.
Yeah. So did you get a chance to watch it?
I did.
Very sweet. So it's funny. Some of these I actually screened a couple times either at Cuff or Sif over the years. Some of them are a little older.
Yeah, I saw the first one before. The rest of them.
Yeah, Jack Attack. So I kind of listed them out. So the first one was Jack Attack.
Yeah.
Which is a fun little pumpkin.
It's fine.
It's cute. I would say that Jack alone was probably it was a meh.
It's a meh.
It made me still kind of laugh. So I kind of like it. Even watching it again, it was kind of.
I enjoyed it.
It brought me a little bit of joy because I mean it's one of the first shorts you see where you see this kid explode. So that was kind of cool actually. Yeah. You know what? Now that I'm talking about it, it's getting to Mondo. I'm sorry, it had the kid explode. It had the dog explode.
Did that as well.
Had the dog explode. The girl. Everybody
exploding. But yeah, it's still a meh for me.
Yeah,
it was good, but it wasn't.
I mean, how much they had a lot of exploding for such a short. So
yeah, well, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with it. I don't blame you for Mondoing it. I mean, that is a lot of exploding, and I know how you like explosions, especially when it's actual people.
And, really, this is right up your alley because it's really a plant killed a person. So, being a vegan, this should really have got extra points for you.
I don't want anyone to die. What are you talking about?
Not even people who eat animals?
Yes, kill them all.
Do you remember what I got you for Christmas?
I do.
Do you want to tell everybody what I got you for Christmas this year?
You got me a t-shirt.
And what does the t-shirt say?
It says, save the animals, eat people, I believe.
There you go. Yes. Kind of wraps it up.
There you go.
And then we saw Dead Hearts.
Yeah, I love Dead Hearts.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
If I'm going to Mondo something in this entire package, this is the one, and I am Mondoing it.
And
I absolutely adore it.
It was a zombie film, so...
Yeah, it was cool. It was
but
just
not
really
your
good.
Traditional zombie movie.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I really love the evolution of the character.
Yeah, it was great. The narration too was just freaking awesome.
Yeah, it had that whole.
I really like that narrator. He just kind of made it for me.
Yeah, he does. I mean, this story is basically this creepy kid.
Yeah.
Who works in a what do they call it? Funeral home. Because his parents did, but his parents died.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really like doing it, but he meets this girl and falls in love, and she loves taxidermy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got that real, in the back of your mind, you're thinking Tim Burton. Right?
Yeah,
it's got a real
definite
Tim Burton influence to it. So, yeah, definitely, it was a good one.
It was excellent.
The Blazing World.
Rage! Oh, I hated it.
Tell us about Blazing World.
It just sucked. I barely remember it. You tell me about it.
I can't remember.
Oh, there you go.
It was obviously not one of my
I just
favorite.
know I did not like it.
Yeah. Pandora.
Rage.
You hated Pandora too?
Yeah, I didn't like Pandora.
Well, I didn't mind it. Love Bites.
Rage.
Oh man, you're raging about everything. And what about Invaders?
Rage.
Oh wow.
I'm 2 films in, and I'm like, man, this package is great. I'm really enjoying this. And then I gotta watch the last 2/3 of it. I'm like, oh crap.
Why did this happen to me?
What are you doing to me, Jim? Telling me to watch this garbage.
Hey, you got to see a Mondo.
I got to see a Mondo, and that was well worth it. And to be honest, it was so worth it because that second short
film was good.
awesome.
So the funniest thing about this, and I'm not saying this is a truth.
All right.
But I almost think that shorts are not your genre in general. And I'm not judging you so much.
No, I enjoy a good short.
No, I'm not saying you don't enjoy a good short, but you don't have
one of my
there's not enough time to walk around in a short.
Fair enough.
A and B, there's not a lot of nothing happening. They've got only a small amount of time to do something, and so there's a lot of content that they have to pack into a short time.
But imagine
frame.
if they did have a 7 or 8 minute short where they just showed someone walking around. How awesome would that be?
Well, it would be for you. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Subconsciously, you don't like shorts because it can't get enough nugget in there. But there's too much happening, and you can't say, I have to think too much in this short period of time.
That is an interesting theory. And maybe there's something to it. I'm not going to argue with you at this point.
Yeah, and only because I didn't rage about those other films that you saw. I didn't think they were terrible.
Oh, there's some god-awful stuff
I gave
there.
a few.
Especially that last one.
Yeah, Invaders, that wasn't great. But nothing
awful.
Really made me rage. I was just kind of enjoying sitting on the couch watching shorts. But I do a lot of that, so.
All right. You know what time it is, Jim.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Rage this week is movies that assume we are stupid when they should just make good movies in the first place.
Preach on.
Yeah, so, I didn't know where I was going to go with this because I raged so hard at this Invisible Man. But that
was the catalyst.
It was the catalyst. It was kind of like, but Sonic came right after.
Yeah,
like we
enough.
saw Sonic almost. Was it last week? Like I can't get Sonic out of my head, and I just keep thinking, first of all, I kind of talked about this with those kids movies. They need to have like some kind of warning that when you watch this movie, we are assuming that you are the biggest moron on the planet. And that you have I'm surprised they didn't do a montage in this. This is how, like in Invisible Man, that they would have put a montage to explain all the things that were completely obvious. Like, oh, here's what happened when she dropped the diazepam.
I would have been instantly raging if that happened.
So what you need descriptive video like they have on TV.
Yeah,
for,
descriptive
for
video.
Blind people.
Yeah, that's actually, you know what? But if they would have put that in the trailer to sort of say it. But you know what? Actually, it's because you know me, I'm a huge horror fan.
Yes.
But one of the things that I've started to realize over the years, because when you went rage on ghost stories, to me it's slasher movies.
All right.
I am so done with slasher movies.
I still like slasher
there's
movies.
there's nothing that comes out that's original on it. Like if they do some really cool ways of killing people, I'm on board. Like there's a bit of a funny story. My daughter sent me a message when The Terrifier came out on Netflix.
All right.
And so I didn't know anything about it. So I don't know what, I was in my own headspace. And she sends me the message that she said, you need to see this movie. I just saw it on Netflix. And it's definitely going to be up for an Academy Award, which normally wouldn't make me want to see it because I'd be like, whatever, I don't care. And but the fact that she said that she hasn't texted me that ever, and then so I said, well, I better go check this out. And of course, I put on the Terrifier, and anyone who has ever seen it, it's about this satanic killer clown that kills people in some really creative ways. It's basically one of the, I'm not going to say that one of the worst. I loved it. It was a super love Mondo for me, but she was like so put out by the movie because why didn't. But Netflix is bringing out a part 2 of the Terrifier, by the way. These are the type of slasher movies I like, but the regular ones, it's kind of like, okay, enough of us. You know, when you see a zombie movie, like the very first zombie movie, when people didn't know zombies were a thing, and then all of a sudden, you'd be like, huh, what's that guy coming towards me? He looks kind of creepy. Like maybe he's on some kind of LSD or something and he's going to attack me. You wouldn't think he's going to bite you. Like, it's just, you wouldn't know that. But because now we're in a generation, I mean, Night of the Living Dead came out in what, 69, 67? So people know that zombies exist. You can't now be killed by a zombie by surprise, someone walking down the street. Some creepy dudes walking down the street. This is what slasher movies is becoming. Because it's kind of like, first of all, don't separate. We talked about that from the movie the other day. Number one, don't separate. Stay together, all of you. There's one of them and like 20 of you. Just fucking kill him when he comes through the door. Number two, don't go running in the forest with a flashlight. He can see exactly where you're going. Or how about this as a concept? How about you just call the cops?
Huh.
And, you know, the only way that I think slasher movies could really work now, and we talked about this a few episodes ago, was on Stranger Things, because they didn't have cell phones. So if every slasher movie was a period piece, it would kind of make sense.
Fair enough.
But otherwise, I'm tired of seeing movies that assume that I'm stupid and have to either put a montage or spell everything out for me that I can't figure it out for myself because I'm too stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's an insult to my intelligence.
I've actually seen, I'm off the top of my head, I can't come up with anything because, you know, I'm kind of old and dumb. But there's definitely been movies where I've actually really enjoyed the movie, and then they put some stupid thing that, actually, Joker's actually a good example of, we had to put in this stupid little montage of the whole movie again in like 5 minutes.
See,
so that we could see that, he actually he's not based in reality in some of these points. If you're semi-intelligent at all, you already know that. You don't have to have it spelled out for you, and that kind of took me out of the movie. That was my one complaint in that movie.
That
still
really
loved the movie, but
I still should have taken it to a man with you.
You
say you don't have rules, but you do have rules, and that is definitely one of them. If something bothers you about a movie, it could be going from a Mondo down to a Rage in like seconds.
Yeah.
But it's like subconsciously, if there's somebody, no, like I really liked Elizabeth Moss in this, so you know, the fact that the movie was terrible and that you've got a rule in your head that, well, you know, she was so great in this, and I've got a little bit of a crush on her, that it's going to stay at a man. And then you make fun of my creep crushes and my. And my love of Keanu Reeves.
Whatever.
So we each have our own weirdness that makes us, I guess, super great about our feelings.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I'm passing the baton. That's my rage this week.
All right, I guess I am up. All right, so we're going to start this with a little bit of a warning because there are spoilers in my rage this week.
Yes.
There's spoilers from movies that have been out for years and years and years, so they're really not spoilers at this point, I don't think. Anyways, my rage this week is trailers that give away way too much.
Funny, we're talking about the same movie.
And in some cases, the entire movie. Of course, I do bring this up because of The Invisible Man. The trailer was like a mini movie, and although it didn't give away every ridiculous plot point, it did give away way too much. There are too many examples of this to go over them all, but here are a few of the major offenders. In 2003, we got the movie Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington. There is literally no reason to watch the movie after seeing the trailer. The entire movie and every single plot point is revealed. Same deal with 1999's Arlington Road, starring Jeff Bridges, Tim Robbins, Joan Cusack, and Hope Davis. What a cast.
I know.
I really like this movie, but imagine how much more I would have liked it had I not already seen it in a 3-minute condensed version ahead of time. The first trailer of 2009's Shutter Island did the exact same thing. Here's one. In 2000, we got Castaways starring Tom Hanks shipwrecked on a deserted island. The movie should have been a tension-filled survival epic with us wondering if Tom Hanks' character could possibly survive. Well, if you watch the trailer, it killed any potential tension as they literally showed him reuniting with his wife in the trailer. Why would you do that? I don't understand.
Which is the last 5 minutes of the movie?
Yep.
In Terminator Salvation, Sam Worthington's character turns out to be a Terminator. This is a major plot point that you would think you would want to keep on the low down, but on the down low, I should say. But if you watch the trailer, this major arc in the story is given away, and the shocking reveal was completely squandered. I don't understand. 2000's What Lies Beneath, starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford,
I like that one.
was not a great movie.
No, it was terrible.
Especially when they give away the twist ending in the trailer.
Yes, it's so true.
Do you know?
Pfeiffer is so good.
Did you know that the Free Willy trailer actually shows them freeing Willy? Although I guess they gave that away, that ending away with, the title of the movie.
It was called Free Willy?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to be a porn, actually, and
so
I was disappointed.
I guess you would have been. And now for some of the greatest offenders. First off, 1977's Carrie, starring Sissy Spacek. They show the entire climax of the film in the trailer. Every single thing. Including the pig's blood. In 2000...
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. They showed her blowing up her house and killing her mom at the end?
They didn't show that.
That's the end of the movie, dude.
That's not the climax
Or did
of the
they
movie.
see her come back?
That's not the climax of the movie.
Oh, it was for me.
It's prom night was the climax.
Oh, okay.
What? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah.
This is getting off the rails.
It really is. In 2008's Quarantine, they literally show you the last shot of the movie in the trailer. Thank God I saw the superior movie this shot-for-shot remake was based on, Wreck, long before seeing the trailer for this inferior reproduction. This last shot was terrifying, but not so much when you've already seen it in the trailer. And then there's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Not a very good movie anyways, but we're going to go over some things anyways.
It was the weakest.
The trailer reveals a buttload of plot points. Let's check all the boxes here. Sandman's transformation, check. Peter Parker shedding the black Spider-Man suit, check. Peter Parker and Mary Jane breaking up, check. Topher Grace's transformation into Venom, check. I'm not sure there was anything else to reveal. And this probably brings us to the greatest offender of them all.
Of all time.
1973's Soylent Green. The whole movie is based on the question, what is the secret?
What's it made of?
What is the secret of Soylent Green? Then they show you the secret of Soylent Green in the trailer.
What is Soylent Green?
It's people!
Yes.
They're people!
They literally show bodies being collected and loaded into a machine. Gee, I wonder what Soylent Green could possibly be.
People!
Why?
People!
Why would you do this? That's all I've got.
I love that rage so much because the other movie that pretty much did it was the movie we watched this week.
Exactly.
That caused me to rage so hard, Invisible Man.
It's amazing how we've got kind of a common thread to our rages every week. We go off into a slightly different direction, but
we still come back to the same thing.
Yes.
Things that make us rage.
Rage.
I'm so glad that you finally agreed with me that movie was a rage.
Yeah, okay.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
The Murman Minute. What you got, buddy?
Wow, there's a lot of anger at this table today.
Yes, there is. Are you going to bring some joy to our hearts?
My Merman Minute is decidedly an anti-rage.
Ah.
Let's feel the groove. All right, this week, I want to pay tribute to my all-time favorite Canadian, next to Michael J. Fox.
John Candy.
John Candy.
How did I know?
That is correct. I was just flipping around the other day and happened to see a movie that I hadn't seen of his. It was on
What? There's a movie you haven't seen of his?
There's been a few. He'd make all gems. This one was called Going Berserk.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see
Basically,
that.
he gets hypnotized by one of the
Something.
women from Designing Women. I can't remember her name. Dixie something.
Dixie Carter.
And into like killing his soon-to-be father-in-law.
It's a murder
But
mystery?
it doesn't. No, it's a comedy. It's got all the SCTV people in it.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't that good. And then I flipped to a different channel, and it had a John Candy marathon.
Cool.
What?
It had like Uncle Buck and
Loved it.
Spaceballs, and I'm like,
Liked it.
made me realize how much I actually miss his movies.
Aw, he's sweet.
He was one of Canada's greatest and funniest character actors.
He was the best part of JFK.
Yeah, his well-known role as a big-hearted buffoon in Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He had a few dry spells
Canadian
in his career,
bacon.
but he stayed working for his whole life. He got started in SCTV along Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, Rick Moranis, Martin Short, Harold Ramis. He actually won 2 Emmys for writing for SCTV, well, with everybody else.
I didn't know that.
And his first film role was actually with Dan Aykroyd in Steven Spielberg's flop 1941.
Oh,
I like that movie.
I actually didn't mind it.
One of Spielberg's few that didn't, do monster numbers. Then he's done a few lovable supporting roles, Stripes,
Oh,
Blues
yeah.
Brothers, and Vacation, which he actually got paid $1 million for like 10 minutes work right at the end.
Wow.
Because Harold Ramis was like the...
Kind of stole the movie at the end.
He
Yeah.
did. But he got to act with Chevy Chase, which he had done before. And his big breakout, of course, was in Splash, 1984.
Yeah, he was good in that.
And
He
then
was.
continued
Too
to
bad the
make
movie was terrible.
films tirelessly, including one of my favorites, Armed and Dangerous, where
Oh,
him and
no.
Eugene Levy played characters who became security guards. Something I know a little bit about.
Yes, you do.
87 was by far his best year, thanks to the brilliance of John Hughes. First up was Spaceballs. Then he played Del Griffith in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Awesome.
Then The Great Outdoors.
Not
and then
so awesome.
Uncle Buck.
Awesome.
Then he kind of fell into a slump. He had some unsuccessful movies in the 90s. Then he changed his strategy, decided to do something serious, which Bryce mentioned was JFK.
He was so good in that.
Then he followed it up with a fan favorite, maybe not a great movie, Cool Runnings, which was shot in Calgary.
There you go.
Yep.
And then, of course, in the mid-90s, he shot Canadian Bacon. And then he went to Mexico
And ate
shot Wagons East, and that's actually where he died of a heart attack.
That
Yes.
movie could have caused anybody to have a heart attack.
But they
think
actually
the
released
script
that one
caused a heart
first,
attack.
and Canadian Bacon was the last film actually that he released. And I remember hearing about his death and watched his funeral on TV because it was broadcast all across.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
And Catherine O'Hara did a eulogy, and it just I teared
Broke
up,
your heart.
man. It was man. I can
She's-
honestly
she's so awesome.
say
You promised you were going to bring us joy, not
I have
sorrow.
not loved anybody in Hollywood as much as I've loved that man. Like
Cool.
for that reason, he will always be my all-time Undoubted and Mesmerized
Crush. Who's
Right
your
on.
crush?
And that is all I got.
That's the Murman Minute.
That's cool.
That is correct.
Thanks for that somber moment. We went from rage to sadness. Are we going to bring
with a
some
little-
joy?
There was a little bit.
Just watch some
there was a
John
little
Candy
bit of joy.
movies. It will make you smile.
Absolutely. I'm with
Sweet.
you there, brother.
Yep, he's a smile maker.
That is true.
All right, well, we're running.
We're running.
Let's-
Yeah.
We got lots to do. I got a couple things for the list this week.
All right, let's get through it.
So I got nomination for the Undoubted, and I got a couple for the Mesmerized list. So this
All right, well,
week
it's kind of your turn. I
I'm
kinda took it last week.
nominating Christopher Walken and Willem Dafoe in the Mesmerized list.
Can't argue with either. Just put 'em on.
Merman
I wasn't paying attention. Walken and
Dafoe.
Absolutely.
Okay, done.
Perfect.
And for the Undoubted, I'm throwing in Tom Hardy. We'll see if there's a double Matt or a Rage in the list. I put down his last, I think, 10.
Yeah, none of them made me rage.
There's
Is there a double man there?
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the first two films, and I'm trying to decide.
Dunkirk to me was a Mondo. I loved it. The visuals of it for me were great.
Dark Knight Rises was so long ago.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
it's
believe
still
it was that old.
yeah.
That's also 9 back. So
Yeah, but that was the weakest of that trilogy as well.
Yeah,
But
basically what we're saying is if you gave Venom or Dunkirk,
yeah,
one of those
'cause
two a meh.
Everything else is awesome. Like
Yeah.
The Drop was awesome. Child 44 I loved.
Yep.
Mad Max Fury Road was unbelievably good. London Road was great.
Yep.
Legend was great. I'm Mondo all the way through. Revenant, Mondo for me.
So can you get a Mondo out of Venom or Dunkirk? And do either one of those make you rage?
Man, he was good in He was the best part of Dunkirk.
Yeah. So based on your rating system, that alone should get him up to a Mondo.
You know what?
It's done, people! We've got another Undoubted!
Tom Hardy
Is now
is undoubted.
Undoubted.
He's undoubted.
This has taken us a while, people. We've got a success. And just to remind people, we have 2 that are still on the bubble. Because if your nomination from Amy Adams, if your next movie is a Met or a Mondo...
I need to go back and look at it.
No,
again.
we've already done it. We're not going back. You've already passed the test. We made those rulings. You can go back and listen to our podcast.
I'm going to have to go back and listen.
She just has
Did
to
I
get
really?
a Met. Yes, you did.
All right.
Met or Mondo, and Murray's Amy Adams makes the list. And you had... who we didn't make it last
Paul Dano,
Yes.
which you're apparently going to just
There
nix
was
this
2
week.
Mez. There was 2 Mez back to back. So, no go.
But they weren't mad.
They were solid. One of them almost made me rage. So you should definitely take that back before it goes rage. And then he's got 8 before he's gonna get a chance again. Because one of those I pushed it just for you. That's basically your birthday present early. Is that I gave 2 Mez instead of a meh and a rage.
Well, happy birthday to me.
Exactly. So,
Whatevs.
this could be an Undoubted. This summer, we could have some
So you're
Undoubted.
saying Amy Adams might make the list based on the next movie, but Paul Dano has no shot.
Hey, I'm not saying I don't like Paul Dano. To Murray's point, we made the rules.
I know it's
a double math.
Absolutely, it's hard to make this list. I'm not. Yeah, it's
Don't be
fine.
crying over spilt milk.
Yeah, whatever.
Just suck it up, princess.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to.
Okay, start crying. All right. So I didn't have anything on the doubted list this week. Nothing made me really.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. We got to focus on the doubted further.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right. So this week, Rage or Dare. Let's talk about what happened with me last week and my fabulous
Xanadu.
dare that you guys got me to do.
Awesome movie.
Xanadu.
And how was Xanadu, Jim? Did you really enjoy it? I bet you did.
So what the music was stuck in my head for days after.
And was that good or bad?
And it did its job.
Interestingly, it was funny because as we were watching it, my wife said, "We're watching Xanadu?" She was never been so excited. She says, "I had this album. I listened to every song." She sang every song as
Yes,
it
she
came
did.
on. It was like, but then halfway through it, she was like, "This movie's really bad."
Oh no, the movie is terrible.
Okay, so
I will give you that.
I know
one.
we're gonna go over a little bit this week because I just have to pull a few things out of my ass on this.
All right.
Okay, so this is my synopsis of Xanadu, the movie.
Bring it on.
Acting. First of all, the worst thing I've ever seen from Olivia Newton-John since her last facelift.
Wow.
Michael Beck. I will never see The Warriors again and think the same of him.
Yep.
Ever. Gene Kelly, you should have retired or at least saved your soul before trying to dance with Olivia Newton-John.
I'm enjoying this so much.
I thought I liked the band ELO until I remembered they were in this movie.
Yes, they were.
There was so much cheese in this movie, it would have hardened the veins of a vegan to the point of heart attack.
Yeah.
Roller skating should be left to the professionals. Movie was dated
so much roller
so
skating.
bad you can pick the exact minute, day, month this movie was made. And then pray to Satan to help you forget it forever.
I love it.
The special effects were so bad they would make CGI from the original Tron movie look current.
Nice.
Clothing, ugh. Music, yuck. Except now I cannot think about anything but Magic from Olivia Newton-John. This was the most painful $5 I've ever spent.
Yeah, to pay $5 even better.
Even more than my $5 parking bill to get my vasectomy done. Bryce would have loved the dancing and singing montage that ONJ does and the blatant ripoff of Grease 1 trying to make it look like ONJ was cool. And now I hate the 80s even more. I pray I never have to see another 80s movie as long as I live. And when I see Top Gun, that may be the only movie that will surpass this one for the worst 80s movie ever made.
Yeah, That just made me so happy. I know it's film rage, but oh man, I'm literally, my face is smiling so much. My cheek muscles hurt.
I never saw you. I've never seen you this happy. I didn't know you had joy in your heart until just this moment.
I'm so happy right now.
Okay, Mur. So this week, it's Mur's turn to either we do a rage or a dare.
All right, I
I
believe
think
we've
we-
come to an agreement that we are going to rage.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah.
pull from Murray's
All right.
bag.
Bag
Murray,
o' rage.
Put your bag on the counter here so we can put our hands in it and grab around it. Is this your bag?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You've got
his
a
bag.
Shake
you've
it
got
up.
a really big bag.
I do.
Do you want us to do it together, or do you want me to just
I
pull?
don't think it's possible to do it together. Just pull one, man.
Actually, we know what we could do is we both pull it and we give it to Murray, and then he picks one of the two.
One of the two?
Yeah, and then we
Okay.
throw the other one back in so we know. Okay, pull
Okay.
one out.
All right.
I'm kind of liking this because it limits it down to just one or two.
right.
We give it to Murray, and then he decides.
Oh, we don't look?
Nope, he's
So
just
we
gonna
don't know.
he's
He
just gonna
decides
tell
which
us,
one.
and then just throw the other one back in the bag there, Mur.
And then reveal. Okay, Murray's happy.
Did you already know which one it is?
Which one?
I could
is
go
it gonna
either
be?
way here. I really could. I think I'm gonna go with the one that's probably easier
Okay,
to
so
find.
put the other one back in
Put
here.
the other one back in,
All right.
and let's reveal what it's gonna be.
All right. Are we ready?
This week,
I'm
Jim
ready.
and Bryce will see.
Well, because Jim loves musicals so much.
Oh no,
and you
not
know how
another
Please,
much,
it's not
musical.
Grease 2.
You know how much I love
Please,
musicals.
not Grease 2.
Okay, Grease 2 I will
Please,
watch with you. I love so
please
much.
not Grease 2.
This is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Oh my God!
gotta be
Is this
kidding
the
me.
second one or the first
This
one?
is the second one with
Oh,
Cher.
with Cher! Oh my God! Why did I agree to do this?
This is so wrong.
It's so wrong.
I didn't even. Oh man. You know, you think it's gonna be bad,
And then,
and then he tells you what it is, and it's
You know
so much
what?
worse than you ever
That's
thought it
what
could
happens
be.
when you pick from my bag.
every time I've touched Murray's bag in history
I don't
of
want
time,
to touch his
It's
it's
bag
always
anymore.
been bad. It's always been
Oh,
bad.
crap.
Although, you know what? Nothing can be worse than Xanadu, so I don't know.
All right, well,
Both were musicals. Actually,
somehow,
just as a correction, people
Yes.
need to understand that Xanadu was not a musical.
okay, what was it?
It was a movie, and the soundtrack had her music.
Okay.
There's not once that they're actually singing.
Oh, really?
Well,
No.
no, like the characters aren't singing together. No.
No.
Okay, well, I'm glad we
But
established
it-
that.
it
Just
was-
so we know, this is actually, we're going to be seeing an actual musical.
will.
Actual musical, yes.
Well, stay
Outstanding.
tuned next week, folks, where we will no doubtedly rage
Because
about this.
even myself, who loves musicals, hated this. So
Maybe we'll like it then.
It's possible.
All right.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
No,
RMM,
it's not.
let's do it.
all right, hang on.
Here we go. Rage, Mondo, man.
All right, you ready?
We're ready.
Okay, we got John Krasinski
Oh, that's a Mondo.
Mondo,
and his better half, Emily Blunt,
Mondo,
Mondo.
Cillian Murphy,
Mondo.
Cillian
Mondo.
Murphy, Carol Burnett,
Mondo.
Katharine Hepburn,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Dennis Quaid,
Meh.
Meh.
and his much more lively brother, Randy Quaid.
That's a Mondo.
Mondo. I love Randy
Yeah, me
Quaid.
too.
John Cusack
Mondo.
Mondo. No, I'm moving to meh. He's made
Mo-
some bad shit.
Still Mondo.
and
No.
Joan Cusack
Mondo.
That's a heavy Mondo.
and Anne Cusack.
Meh.
Was somebody-
Meh.
I don't know who that was.
That's
Younger
another
sister.
Cusack.
I never heard of her.
She's actually older than Joan.
Oh, is she?
Isn't that
doesn't look as
interesting?
good as
Her
Joan.
mother. Okay, then we got under the A, Alan Rickman,
Mondo.
Yeah, Mondo.
Alan Alda,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Adam Sandler,
Meh.
Ashley Judd,
Oh, rage.
Meh. I'm going to say meh. I like doing
Rage.
some stuff.
and I just added this one, Annette O'Toole.
Mondo.
I'm going to say Mondo.
Absolutely Mondo.
There
All right.
you go.
All right.
Well, we're over a few minutes this week, people.
Just a little bit.
But it was so much fun. The rage was so
It
heavy.
was. The rage was flowing this week.
Okay, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Stephanie DeRoy for social media, Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and our new YouTube channel. Check it out. We are always wanting your feedback, so please communicate to us in any way possible to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often, and please make us rage. Please, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.